Now, suspected drug addicts and other criminals have taken over 6 pedestrian underpasses at the Sofa Line interchange in Kumasi. The pedestrians are scared by the situation and are forced to cross the road to unauthorized places at the risk of their lives. Nanaya Ojima takes us on a trip to the project site as funding shortfalls keep work uncompleted for over a decade.
A young man is remanded into prison custody for allegedly raping a teenager who attempted to use the tunnel. Robbery of unsuspecting users of the underground bypass is a common occurrence, as reported by police at Sontreso. We found auto sprayer Akwesi Owusu taking a nap in what he finds cozy but poorly lit tunnel.
I am an auto sprayer. I come here to take a nap whenever business is slow. At night, I sleep in the fitting shop. The other people who come here have gone to find food.
Akwesi relocated here from Apa in the Ashanti region to pitch camp here. Police have picked him up a couple of times in swoops to rid the area of criminals. He admits to using drugs but denies the people who use the tunnel for shelter are criminals.
We don't do drugs in the tunnel. We do them in the bush. I do smoke and use tramadol too. But we are not thieves. The police sometimes arrest us, but after investigations, we are freed.
All 6 tunnels are not in use, except one fixed for pedestrians, in order to reduce knockdown at the Prempeh College and Basic School end of the interchange. Decorated with pictures of past presidents and Ashanti traditional symbols, it is preferred by many. Kofi Boateng uses the tunnel frequently for convenience. He is excited about installation of security cameras and deployment of security men within the structure. For 2 months, I've been using this place and it's safe. We thank them for this. Our children can now go to school safely. Despite financial challenges due to government indebtedness, contractors had to fix this strategic tunnel for safety, especially of students. However, many people feel unsafe to use it and will rather risk their lives to cross dangerously on the busy road. Kwabna Ejay is one of them.
Some of us are very stubborn, and I'm one of them. I should have used a tunnel, but I didn't. If a vehicle should knock me down, that is my own doing. We must educate our friends to use the tunnel instead.
A report was filed from Kumasi by Nanaya Ojima. Now, large parts of the capital, Accra, have for years been the scene of gunfights as gun-toting land guards take over land they do not own or protect the land of those willing to pay for their services. At Nsaki near Amasaman, a sprawling suburb in the capital, land guards have taken their activities a notch higher. They're filling river banks and selling them to developers, scrambling for space in a crowded, poorly planned and haphazardly built city. The following report, JoyNews' Latif Idris, explores the dangers and risks associated with unlawful, unregulated land reclamation, the river, and the immediate and long-term impact it could have on residents and the country.
Nsaki is a traditional Ga community with a population of about 1,000 people. The fast developing suburb is caught up in the urban sprawl. River Nsaki, on which I am literally standing, is one of the tributaries of the Wager Dam and the Densu River. But at the blind side of the authorities, some faceless individuals are pushing the boundary of the river by reclaiming it with laterite and garbage, risking lives and setting the stage for a future disaster. Land guarding is a major problem here, and lives and property have been lost as a result. Queen Mother of the area, Nsaki I, has been working with the Assembly to end the dangerous development of reclaiming and selling parts of the Nsaki River. But so far, nothing has changed. Developers are busily filling parts of the Nsaki River with materials to put up a fuel station. The station adds to a chain of homes that have already been built on this otherwise flowing water body, which is now a shadow in its former self.
We are sending a message to government to come in and stamp its authority to stop the reclamation and sale of the land.
A scientist at CSIR, Mr. Amechichi, says the practice has the potential of impacting the rate of flow of river with devastating effect.
When there's flash flooding, that is sudden rain, with sudden intense rainfall, it leads to severe flooding that may wash away properties, destroy property, redistribute contaminated water into people's homes, contaminate wells that serve as drinking water for many people in poor areas, in the urban areas.
It also has the potential of fueling climate change, a phenomenon that no country under the sun, according to the International Panel on Climate Change, has the capacity to fully deal with. Abdullah Moksit is secretary of the International Panel on Climate Change.
All the activities. It also showed that no region, no small place in the world is not affected by a climate change. Developed or developing countries are concerned. And not only this, and this is also at the heart of what is now discussed.
There's a lot of knowledge about how to manage the natural resources you have.
The United Nations forecast of the impact of climate change shows that nations will in the coming years invest trillions of United States dollars in infrastructure to mitigate climate change. Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, has therefore encouraged nations to make the building of resilient infrastructure central to their investments.
From the South Pacific to Mozambique to the Caribbean and beyond, I've seen the devastating and life-changing impact of the climate emergency on vulnerable communities. Disasters inflict horrendous suffering and can wipe out decades of development gains in an instant. In the coming decade, the world will invest trillions of dollars in new housing, schools, hospitals, and infrastructure. Climate resilience and disaster risk reduction must be central to this investment. There is a strong economic case for such steps. Making infrastructure more climate resilient can have a benefit-cost ratio of about 6:1. For every dollar invested, $6 can be saved.
The faceless individuals may be undertaking the nefarious activity of reclaiming a primary source of potable water for thousands, if not millions, of people in the national capital at the blind side of the law today. But if and when disaster strikes tomorrow, it will be glaring and the states will rush here with aid. A stitch in time, we say, saves 9. Latif Idris, JoyNews, from the swampy Nsaki River.
Latif Idris fired that report.